And so, just to give you a little background of what was going on is that, growing up, I had a lot of things that did come to me quite easily, whether it was sports and education and things like that. And so, but another thing was that if something did not come to me easily, I'd quit. And I'd focus my attention somewhere else. Okay, and that's where, to this day, I still don't really know how to ice skate. Because I wasn't as good as Wayne Gretzky the first time I did it, right? So that was the kind of mentality I was going through. But if I was good at something, then I would focus all my attention to it. So going to chiropractic, coming from this big chiropractic family, that came easy to me. Going to technique classes, going through school, that was easy. I focused all my attention, went to all the technique clubs, got certified and everything. That was easy. And so when I went, so in school, not much just myself, but every one of us, we had these visions of where we're going to be after we graduate. My vision was, I'm going to see 1,000 people a week. We're going to start changing the world. And that to me was easy to think like that because of the background we came from. And so then when I did graduate and went into the practice, what happened is that my reality is that actually, no, this was way harder than I thought. I actually had to do work to this. And so in that first year, my goal from reaching 1,000 then dropped to 500 because it was too hard. And then after the second year, it was just like a struggle just to hit 100 visits a week. So then that goal went from 500 down to 300, down to, let's try to at least get to 200 now, right? And I started changing things a lot. Along the way, I started, what I wanted to do is, I thought, well, I'm not in the right place. So I got an opportunity to leave my associate practice and go take over an existing practice that was seeing over 400 visits a week. So I thought, that's what it is. I've got shackles on me. I'm not able to do what I want to do in my practice. And so I left that practice and I went into this existing practice, was already seeing 400, very successful. And I thought, yes, I'm free now. I can do what I want. I'm going to express everything. I'm going to see 1,000 visitors a week again. That was my vision. But again, the reality set in and it was hard again. So then it dropped and it dropped. So I went from 400 to 300, 250, and then to 200. The lowest we got was 180. And I was freaking out. How am I doing this? And along the same time, I was also going to different coaching programs. Because I was reaching out to people, asking them, "Can you help me? I got to build this practice back up. I got to help serve more people." But nothing was working, and I was always on the mentality, okay, this system, this coaching program doesn't work. Okay, let's try another one. No, this one doesn't work. None of these systems work. The people who did work for it, I guess they just got lucky. And so then, along the way of me bringing this practice down, I had this little wee voice talk to me all the time. I'll call him Joel. But this little wee voice kept on telling me, go to Maximize Living. Come to Maximize Living. Come and check out what we have. Be a part of Maximize Living. So you know what? At the point, I was like, okay, I've got nothing else to lose. I'm almost about to hit rock bottom here. Let's find out what they're all about. So I went in there with the mentality, it's like, yeah, you know what? The system doesn't work, right? I've tried these systems. I've tried coaching programs. It's not for me, but I went to it anyway. And so then, when I was there, it was exciting. I loved it. The energy was high. I loved the people who were there. And so it was part of a vision that I wanted to be a part of, so it was great. So I talked to my wife, and then right there, we signed up. We said, okay, we're going to do the Maximize Living coaching plan. And then going back home, that's what we did. So I got all the scripts. I got all the procedures and started looking at them, and things didn't really go well for me, and so I was going slow. And then one day, what happened is, I was in my private office in the clinic, and I saw on my bookshelf all the different binders I had from all my other coaching programs. And I'm like, you know what, this is weighing me down, just seeing all this stuff, so I'm going to take it down and throw it away, because I don't need it. So as I was throwing it away, of course, I'm just going to look through the notes one last time. Is there something that I missed, maybe? And so then what I realized is that with all these different programs I was with, including Maximize Living, procedures, scripts, they're actually all the same. Some of them almost word for word they're exactly the same. So I was like, well, wait a second. How did these systems work for all these people, but it didn't work for me? The realization is the system works. I didn't work. Because what happened is I was looking at these scripts, and about 50%, if not even 75% of the scripts are actually crossed out and reworded to my words because I didn't like it how they worded it, so I knew better. No, I could do better than that. But really, I couldn't. I didn't do better than that. If I could, I would have been seeing 1,000 visits a week. And so then, at that point, I decided, you know what? This system is working. I got to make sure it's working, so I'm going to work with it. So from that day, I just studied the scripts word for word. I did not change it. I was focusing on my coach's doctor's report. To the point where if he was talking about the nervous system and he pointed to the left, I would point to the left. If he had his hand up high or down low, I would do the exact same thing. And so you wouldn't even tell if it was my coach's doctor's report or mine because I did the exact same things. And so that's where things got to change in the office. And it got better and I got better. And we implemented all the procedures. And that's when we started growing and growing and growing. And then we were hitting, high 300s, like 360, 370 again. And I was like, wow, this is great. So it is working. The system does work. And so what was amazing is that I was doing a lot of different things. So we're now traveling, we're buying new cars and so on. And so I thought, yeah, life is good now, which is great. But then something happened. Then I got, didn't focus too much on the vision again, and the practice started going down. Okay? But I still had my expenses the same height, but my practice was going down. But then I was always like, oh, it's okay, because it's just a little bump in the road. I'll get back at it. I'll pay it off next month. But next month, I kept on doing this, and I got into a lot of trouble that way. To the point where we had a lot of debt. Right? And so I was talking to my coaches, and I was freaking out, like, what's going on? Like, we're doing great. I know all the procedures. I know all the scripts by heart. What's going on? Well, how many patient visits, new patients are you getting a month? 10, maybe 15. Okay, well, how many spinal screenings are you doing? Well, I'm not. Okay, well then how many extra workshops, not ones we're telling you to do once a month, but how many extras are you going outside for businesses or groups or churches? Well, I'm not doing that. Well, how many lunch and learns are you doing, or how often are you going out to businesses every day to introduce yourself? Well, I'm not doing that. Well, why? Well, that takes time. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create balance in my life now, right? Because I'm already working 23 hours in the office. That's including doctor's report. Like, come on, how much more time do I have to put in there? Because I've heard the stories of these people putting 40, 50 hours of work, and I was like, my goodness, that's so unbalanced. Sure, they may be successful and busy right now, but I'm sure their family life is like crumbling down. I'm sure they're probably, they're going to get a divorce or whatever it is. They're imbalanced. And so that's the mentality I had. And so what we did is we brought our practice from, the high 300s, and we kept on growing down to the point where we're at the low 200s again. I'm like, what's going on again? So then at one point, I was like, that's it. If I'm trying to create balance and I'm not getting it, because I'm creating more imbalance at this point. I'm more stressed about finances. I'm more stressed about being in the office, because all new patients that came in, I now saw them as a dollar sign, right? I'm not here to help them, heal or lifetime family care. There's a dollar sign so I can make sure I can pay rent. It was then created to the point where any patient that was leaving, I was like, no, you can't leave. Not because of you, but because I need something. And so that was so bad for me to do that. And I was like, no, that's it. I have to stop. I have to change. And my wife agreed with me. She's like, okay, let's create an imbalanced lifestyle now. So my wife's telling me, okay, you stay at the office as long as you can. Go do screenings. Sleep there if you need to. I don't know why she wanted me to sleep at the office, but she said, sleep at the office if you need to. Do as much as you can. Just try to create an imbalanced life to see, what can this bring us? And so that's what we did in January. That's when I started my imbalanced lifestyle. I did sometimes 2 screenings a weekend. We did at least 2 lunch and learns a week. We had different businesses every week. And so we were doing all these things. But first couple months, like nothing happened. We're still seeing about the same visit average. But then we're like, okay, no, we got to keep doing it, right? Just keep doing it, plug it in, keep focusing on it. And so we kept on doing it, kept on living this imbalanced lifestyle. And then it started generating more. We started growing more. We're starting to see more patients. And so we got to the point where we're not dipping into our reserve funds for the bank, our overdraft funds or anything. We're starting to put more and more money back into the bank. And so I started increasing my vision again back into the office. The new patients weren't the dollar signs. The new patients was, yes, I could give you hope now. The new patients was lifetime family care patients. That's what I saw again. And so now, when you look at it, so yeah, we hit pretty much mid 300s now. We're good. But you know what? I'm not finished with that because there's still more to do. And what happens though is that by me trying to create this imbalanced lifestyle by doing so much more, what I actually realized is that I was actually creating more balance in my life by doing this imbalance. Why do I say that? Is because I would say just this past summer, it was probably the best summer my wife and I had together. We took many little day trips together. We did little adventures. We had more focused time together, right? Because it didn't matter how much time I wasn't at the office, I was at home. No, it's like if you had 15 minutes of focused time with your spouse, way better than 2 hours sitting on the couch watching TV, right? So that's what we did. And so now we figured out that this imbalance was actual true balance now. So for all of us that are trying to find that balance in life, we're lying to ourselves. We're saying no, because what we're doing is we're not looking at our vision. We're not fulfilling our purpose. By creating this imbalance, I had a bigger vision in the office. I had a bigger purpose in life, and that flowed through every single avenue in my life. And that created more and more balance. So the 2 things I want you to take away from my experience is that, number 1, is that the system works, right? Don't think that you're better than the system yet. Right? The system works. You have to work with the system. But then number 2 is don't try to think you're creating a balanced life. Find that purpose. Deliver your time. Use your time effectively to that purpose, and everything else will come in proper balance. Those are the 2 biggest lessons that I learned. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is, because like I said, so the system works, like all those other coaching programs, they seem similar. So then why did I choose to stay with Maximized Living? It's because to me, Maximized Living is bigger than just me, right? It's bigger than just a coaching program to help me get better. Because what it is, it's a global vision, right? It's bigger than me, it's bigger than my practice, it's bigger than my town, it's bigger than our country. Maximized Living's vision is to transform families and save lives, right? And we're doing this across the globe, right? And that's why we need more and more people. Because for all of you guys who are part of Maximized Living right now, I thank you, right? Thank you for being part of this mission with me. But for those of you who are not, I need you to join us. Why? Because one person can only do so much. But with a huge group of us, we're going to move the mountains. We're going to change healthcare on this planet. We're going to bomb Monsanto. We're going to do all these great things. And that's why we need your seat. We need your number. Because you will also make the change with us. So, thanks.